Welcome to the Screen Time Continuum. It is a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday here in 2024. Thanks for tuning in. We are here to bring you guys a great review. And by we, I mean myself and the fellas. I am Keelan. And Nick, how are you doing, brother?
Hey man, happy new year. I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy New Year. Yeah, I can't complain. It's actually pretty cool out here, even though it's chilly. It's a little too cold. But with that being said, Mike, how you doing out there? How you feeling, brother?
Cold. It is cold out here.
Yeah, I figured. But hey, that's just what happens when the weather shifts and we don't know why, because who are we but normal people in the world who are going through everything you guys are going through. With that being said, let us lend you some opinions, some facts, and even, I don't know, some words of hilarity towards today's review. Today's review is a movie entitled Rebel Moon Part 1, Child of Fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say that with confidence then. Rebel Moon Part 1, Child of Fire. It is currently showing on Netflix. This movie, I think, has only been out for about 2 weeks. I'm not sure, but I think less than a month for sure. However, as usual, I don't have all of the details. I have very minimal. I know it's on Netflix. I know was in it Shimon Hanasu is in it.
For like 2 seconds, yes.
Yeah,
Who?
for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Jaman Hansu.
Oh,
Yeah, Mom said, you know who he is. No, I'm like, don't make
nah,
me.
the way you pronounced it threw me off.
How did I say it? Did I say it wrong? Did I do it
I
again?
don't know.
I don't think so.
Honestly,
I say Digimon Hansu. So.
Right. I don't know how you pronounce it, to be fair.
I think it's Jimon.
It's probably that.
Anyway, but he's the only name that I know of the people that are in this movie.
I know
other
Sophia.
actors. Oh yes, and Sophia, who I don't know, but Mike knows. Thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that. What's her last name?
Botella.
Okay, Sophia Botella. Oh yeah. And she was in Star Trek, right?
I think
She
so.
was the lead role. She was in Star Trek. She's the.
She's also in Kingsman.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the Kingsman. I wanted to see
Shame
the
on
Kingsman,
you.
but I didn't see any of them.
Those are actually pretty good.
I heard. But that's not what we're talking about right now. Right now, we're
Nope.
talking about the fact that I don't have all the details for the movie Rebel Moon Part 1, Child of Fire, which is currently showing on Netflix. But hey, Nick, can you help us out with some of those details?
Sure can, man. Yeah, it came out December 21st, so we're about 3 weeks ish, about 3 weeks out from the release date. And it is directed by Zack Snyder. It's written by Zack Snyder, Kurt Johnstad, and Shay Hatton. And it stars Sophia Botella, Jejman Hansu, Ed Skrein, Michiel Huisman, Bae Duna, Ray Fisher, Charlie Hunnam, and Anthony Hopkins. And the synopsis for this film is...
He was the robot.
He was the robot. You
I
just
thought that
stomped all
voice
over my
sounded
line.
familiar. Okay.
I figured that out immediately.
He was the robot. Yeah.
I was like, Hannibal. Anyway, sorry. You do that.
And the
I'll comment on
narrator.
what I thought.
Yeah. Let me just get to the synopsis here, and then I can turn it back over to you. When a peaceful settlement on the edge of a distant moon finds itself threatened by the armies of a tyrannical force, a mysterious stranger living amongst its villagers must be their best, or becomes their best hope for survival.
Yeah.
So, Magnificent Seven, Seven Samurai.
You name it. You name it.
Right.
Let's see, Mandalorian.
Everything you've ever watched everywhere that has to do with anything oppressive.
Anything ever, all the time.
All at once.
Yes, all at once.
Hey, that's even kind of the Lord of the Rings story, isn't it?
It's all the stories, yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Just gotta have a bad guy.
Gotta have a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
To the Anthony Hopkins thing, I thought to myself, so I wonder if this robot's gonna turn Hannibal at any point. Dr. Lecter.
I just was wondering why he sound familiar.
You couldn't put your finger on it.
I couldn't.
You probably got a cool millie for just doing that on his couch.
Right.
I mean, honestly, he could have just recorded lines on his couch at home and got paid $1 million for it.
Yeah, because they still made it robotic, so they made it less him still in the way. So that's funny. You're right. He probably didn't have to put too much into that. That's a what? How much you think he got paid for that? Let's do that real. Well, never mind. Pocket watch.
Why
We're
not?
doing that.
I think he got paid $1 million for it.
You think he'll be in part 2?
He's a robot. Yes.
Yeah, he's definitely in part 2. He's literally the last scene of part 1. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, all right, I'm not commenting on that because we got to get to that. Anyway. So yeah, let's get some first thoughts, some first impressions. I'll go with my first impressions first. I was not sure what to expect with this movie, but the moment it started, I was immediately thinking it was gonna fall somewhere. What did I say when I first seen it? I was like, I felt like it was gonna give me somewhere between Star Wars and Dune. No, it wasn't Star Wars and Dune. Maybe it was Star Wars and Dune.
no, that's what
But
you said.
is that what I said? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it was somewhere in that vein. And honestly, in my opinion, it kind of hit right on that exact thing. The only difference between this and Dune is we don't have to wait 3 years for the sequel.
Well, I mean, maybe we
Well-
do, maybe we don't. I'm
Well,
not sure.
to be fair, the original Dune.
That's funny, but yeah. Oh no, we don't. The sequel's supposed to come out in April.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. It's literally they already have the trailer on Netflix. for
Oh,
it
so
already.
they just shot the entire trilogy all at one go.
I think so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I don't think it's a trilogy. I think it's just 2 movies, but they're releasing 4 versions of it. Of each part.
Oh, because he's gonna have a Snyder cut. for
Yeah,
each one.
there's
Oh,
going to be a
God.
Snyder cut for part 1 and part 2.
So we reviewed this too early, is what you're telling me?
Part 1's already 2 hours and 15 minutes long. How much more longer can you make it?
2 more hours.
Well,
2 more hours.
More hours.
the way I heard it, and I could be wrong, so forgive me if I am, but originally this was supposed to be a Star Wars script that
Yes,
got
it
rejected.
was. Yes. Yeah, very
And
similar.
To be fair,
Yeah.
if they would have got the Star Wars budget, it probably would have been better than what they're going to put out in 2029 or whenever this other stupid thing that they're putting out with the activist lady.
I definitely like this better than the last few Star Wars have seemed to be.
To be fair, it's the same thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we haven't gotten past first impressions yet, guys.
Right. I do want to say that Zack Snyder definitely goes Mamba mentality with everything he shoots because it's always more hours. Hey Kobe, what do I do when I want to get better at shooting movies? More movies.
Yeah. Just make
You
them
in the
longer.
sports.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So yeah, my first impressions though, I really thought it was somewhere in between there and it really nailed that. However, I was not no, actually there were maybe 1 or 2 things I was a little impressed by in this movie. I wasn't disappointed. I'll say that. Rather than trying to say what was good, I'll say what wasn't bad. I was not disappointed. This movie was pretty decent, but I also am not the biggest fan of all of this kind of stuff. And mostly because like Mike kind of just alluded to, the oppressive mother state in this situation, we'll call it that, the mother state, but the oppressive government situation or role, it just kind of it gets so repetitive. It's like, all right, so we're gonna have to go find some people. Oh, yep, here we go. Nobody said that was coming, but here we go. So I knew everything that was happening the moment I understood what kind of a movie we were watching. And that's probably the biggest downfall for me. And the fact that most of the fights look effortless and over choreographed. But good things. I didn't think the acting was bad. I feel like the effort that this gave, because it doesn't have a big name on it and it looks like kind of like a standalone project, like something that someone wanted to do no matter what. Like if you got denied for Star Wars contract and you still make the movie,
Mhm.
I'm going to give you credit for that. And I think that's exactly what this is. If this is in fact that, then maybe Zack Snyder got his thing back.
You know, to be fair, I have to say this. I compared it to Star Wars in a way that I shouldn't have because there's no force in this.
None at all.
No.
Not
So
even the illusion of.
right, and I felt like I needed to say that because I compared it to Star Wars because it was originally scripted for that, but there's no Force in this, so that wouldn't be necessarily fair to the movie. And
Gotcha.
with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get my first impression out of the way. I didn't hate this
Really
movie.
quick, I do want to
Okay.
add. So sorry, but
Yeah,
just because it's probably the only thing I really have to add.
Okay.
I liked the characters
Mhm.
and the pacing. That's all.
Okay. Fair enough. Didn't hate this movie once again. Didn't particularly like it either though. The characters were cool. I like Sophia. I think she's one of the more beautiful African women. She's Algerian, just so you know. North African, beautiful, beautiful. One of my favorite female actors right now in America.
Do you want to say any more about how pretty she is?
Yeah, I got a whole lot
I'm
to
sure
go
he
on.
won't mind.
Okay,
I'm about to say,
right.
I'm sure he won't. I'm kind of too, Nick. I was sitting here like,
Jeez, dude.
hey,
Ruined
the boy thinks that, yeah.
Hey, she was the best part about it. Just no more short haircuts though. No more buzz cuts though. That's weird.
Hey,
That was weird.
hey,
I didn't like that.
Can't tell women how to dress and carry
Hey, I can
themselves.
say what I want to. What I like is what I like. They ain't gotta listen, but I like what I like.
That's a
So-
fair rebuttal.
With that being said, though, I really found it funny though that the main Nazi, because they are space Nazis,
They are that, yeah.
the main space Nazi is a Nazi who beats people with a shillelagh.
Yeah. And there
I
are
was
people
hoping
with
you were gonna
Irish
say
accents
this.
in the movie too.
Right, look, I was hoping you were gonna say this a little after the first impressions as we're getting in there, but hey, yes. And
I just thought that was funny though.
yeah, oh, it was funny, all right.
And I like some of the characters. I did like the pacing. It wasn't too bad, like you had said. I thought the story was kind of it's just been done before many times. You know, you can change the settings. That's really all they changed was the setting.
Did they?
Barely.
I mean, barely, yeah, barely, because you can. I say they changed the setting because you can't pinpoint where they are, but it looks like a galaxy far, far away.
And then at the same time, you get to a certain point, you think, are they even in space?
This is the meme. Mom, can we get Star Wars? We have Star Wars at home. And this is what Star Wars at home.
Funny.
I mean, like that's what it is.
No, for real. I can pick, second that. And the
Right.
funniest thing, towards even what Mike is saying, they didn't even change the uniforms.
No, not really.
Those are Star Wars Those are Star Wars and Nazi uniforms in the exact same tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because they kind of look like the officer uniforms, not stormtroopers. For people who get confused, not the stormtroopers, but the officer uniforms.
Yeah.
And what are those big geisha warriors they had with them the whole time?
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, they looked like the Trade Federation from the
Right.
trilogy.
Right.
I knew one of y'all would get what I was saying. Like, no, they look like they're straight out of Star Wars too.
Yep, you're right. I was
And the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
The stormtroopers without face masks.
Right. Yes. Wearing weird clay suits that look like, I don't know. They look soft and hard at the same time. I don't know what that is.
I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere.
Sure.
There definitely is.
It eludes me, but I'm sure it's there. Yeah.
Not I, Popeye.
Right.
Anything else, Mike?
Nah, that's it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to like this movie, to be honest. I thought, Zack Snyder's not awful. I don't think that he's a very good, he's not my favorite director, but I don't think that he's a bad director. I can say that it's okay. I wrote notes because I needed to make sure I was getting all my thoughts together on this one. So yeah, the way that I decided to watch this movie initially was, okay, I'm going to think of this as an homage to all sci-fi, an homage to all Westerns and samurai movies. And that kind of gave me an ability to appreciate it more. But the problem is at the end of this movie, it got so blatant that it was just stealing these things and not homaging them, that I had to say, okay, well, no, you're just being a thief. So like there are countless motifs in this movie and themes and even scenes, some just stolen scenes.
A lot of IP theft lately.
What's that?
A lot of IP theft lately.
I mean, like it's again, if you wanted to view this movie as an homage to all those things, I think it would be more tolerable. But it gets to the point where it's so overt that you're just like, oh no, you're just stealing. And so I think that it could have been more memorable. The score could have been more memorable. I didn't get any of those. Like, if you're going to do a grand sci-fi motif or like a movie, you always have to have a theme. You think Star Trek, Star Wars, Dune, they all have music that's very iconic. I didn't pick that up in this movie at all.
Dune has one?
Yeah, Dune has a soundtrack.
Dune has things. Yeah. Good sounds too.
Yeah.
Even, you know what? Even the sound design. Sorry, that's a nickname.
Yes, it is. No, that's cool. And so let's see. Oh yeah, stylistically, this thing is all over the place. It's taking elements of cyberpunk. It's taking elements of old, like retro futurism, sort of, and also the grungier, the grungier sci-fi of Star Wars. And I just don't think that it cohesively blends together into its own voice. It just feels like a grab bag of all the cool things from other sci-fi movies pushed into one movie, and then it's like, oh, this is good, right? It's like, well, no, you're missing the elements that make those scenes so memorable. And like I think I took down, like, I know it ripped off The Matrix, I know it ripped off Empire Strikes Back. The main village looks like it's out of Skyrim. They didn't even try not to make that look like it wasn't Skyrim. They all speak in like Nordic voices too.
Right. Yeah.
So the one thing I will say that I did enjoy was the pacing. I think at 2 hours and 15 minutes, it's kind of a long movie, but I didn't feel any of that. So I think it did its job with the pacing. And I think that kind of saved it, because I wasn't sitting there like, oh, this is so boring. So that's good. But I just also don't think that the characters were fleshed out enough. I think that we spend a lot of time at the village, and then all of a sudden we're meeting 6 new characters without any backstory to them.
You know what?
Yeah.
Somebody should have taken an arrow to the knee.
That would have been great. I would have been fine. Yeah. I used to work for the mother world like you until I took an arrow to the knee. Yeah. That would have been fine. I would have been, you know what? Then I would have been like, okay, it's an homage again.
Right.
Yeah, but those are my initial thoughts. We can get deeper into the details.
For sure. I also want to mention that I watched probably the first quarter of this movie on my phone, and then I was able to watch it on a larger screen. It pretty much looks the exact same in my opinion, but phones nowadays are so advanced that they're all 4K, and so is your TV. So actually, I want to say there's an early scene where the first time he hits the guy in the face, bludgeons him to death. That looked actually crazier on the phone. Like on a smaller screen, that looked way more intense. On a larger screen, it was like, okay.
Yeah. Did you guys have sound mixing problems? Because this could have just been my sound system, but I found that the talking was way too quiet, and
some of it
the sound effects were super loud, and then the dialogue was quiet for me. But
I didn't notice.
That could have been just my sound system.
I was so engrossed in the story, man. I didn't even notice.
The only one time I had a sound issue was later when they meet the Blood Axes.
Who?
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah.
The Blood Axes on the bridge.
Blood Axes.
We'll get there. The brother and sister.
The
Literally.
Resistance.
Oh!
Yeah.
Is that what they were called?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't hear that.
And I forgot her last name. I mean, her first name. But yeah, Darian Bloodaxe is the brother.
Yeah, I guess I didn't hear that.
Everybody literally just called him Bloodaxe.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore. So.
Well, when you're right, you're right. All right. So now that we are through our first impressions, let's get through this here. Rebel Moon, Rebel Moon,
Mhm.
Rebel Moon.
Oh, you mean Skyra Hobbit Viking Moon?
Skyra Hobbit Viking Moon. Skyra Hobbit Viking Moon.
Dovahkiin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this movie pretty much starts very Star Trek-esque. You have mothership floating through. You have a mothership floating through space. Take away the portal. Just let the mothership float through space.
Can
and
I
you get
say
the
something about that?
backstory of what's going on? Go for it.
Did the portal look a little odd to
Yes,
you?
it did. Yes, it did. Looks like a labia. I'll say it.
Oh, he did that on purpose.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
believe so.
Yeah.
And I want to say I am anatomically correct on the parts that I'm speaking of because
Because I watched that part and I was like, wait a minute. Am I seeing
Wait
what
a
I'm seeing?
minute.
Mike said,
Like,
"What
I'm
is
not even-
what is
not-
that
I'm-
about?"
I swear I'm not even trying to be funny about it because I was confused. Like, am I really seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
And then it was like, isn't it supposed to be going the other way?
Well,
That's not a wormhole. That's a wormhole hole.
They came from the they came from the mother world, so I would say they're coming the correct way. Coming from the mother
They are
world.
born literally out of the portal.
I was expecting to see that a few more times, though. To be fair,
The subtlety of Zack
you were looking
Snyder.
forward
He's
to it,
so
weren't
subtle
you?
with his
I
nuances.
mean, that wasn't subtle at all.
I wonder what Zack Snyder's into.
Well, I mean, the only thing that would have made this complete is if they would have put a smaller portal right underneath it.
Stupid. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna have a hard time with this movie.
Oh my god. I'm trying my best not to comment and add to what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but quit it because I got jokes too.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, no, it's not your fault. I'm actually trying to get my jokes out of my head and find a way to rephrase what I just said to get back on. Oh, got you. All right. So yeah, no, as I was saying, they're just biting off, as Nick was saying, excuse me, not as I was saying, as Nick was saying, they're simply biting off of these other entities. And it just reminded, hell, it even reminded me of Spaceballs. Because they use the yellow writing specifically because they use the yellow writing. I was like, Spaceballs? And I love Spaceballs. It's balls. It's a great movie.
In the desert.
We ain't found shit.
Well, nobody likes the giant vacuum. His helmet. I can't talk it. I can't. Anyway, the king and queen have been slain, is what we are being told by the narrator as the ship goes across. And as the king and queen have been slain, there's a senator named Balsarius, and Balsarius has appointed himself the regent because he is balls.
Balls Harrius.
But he's the only one that had him to go ahead and try to take control and be in power. And he did that.
Yeah, he did.
Balsarius started getting wind of, what am I saying? Balsarius is aware that there are rebellions building in faraway star systems from the mother world, and he begins to send his most dangerous assassins and killers out to those areas to find and eliminate the threat. We find on a planet that there is a lady or a girl named Cora. I want to say she's a lady, but we never really find out. Oh no, she's like 19, right? So I guess she is a lady, not a girl. How does she?
No.
We never find out.
She can't be
We don't
19.
Find out. I don't think she's 19 either, but did we find out in any way? All we know is she was 18, she was put into power, and then she was 19, and what happened. And
she's gotta be at least
I'm not sure.
25.
Who knows? She's only been on the moon for 2 months, so I have no idea.
So she's still 19, probably, is what I'm saying.
I guess
that's a stretch.
It's a super stretch. I give her 24.
They're fine. Never mind.
Stop.
No, the floor is yours. This is your time.
Nah.
But yeah, she's on a planet and she has settled in and become a regular villager, but she's also kind of a loner, so to speak. She has a friend, aka a boyfriend, somebody she's fond of that she also hunts with, and they're friends because she says things are easy between them. They don't things don't he doesn't make things difficult.
Who, Dario
But in order to be,
Naharis?
uh yeah.
The opportunist.
Dario Naharis from Game of Thrones.
Oh crap, that is who that is.
Is that
Mhm.
who that?
Yeah. And then the other guy is Dario Naharis from Game of Thrones. There's both Dario Naharises from Game of Thrones are in this movie.
That's nuts.
One is the bad guy and one is the good guy.
The good guy, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh man, things you don't really pay attention to, and then you go, oh, shoot,
Yeah.
who knew? Anyway, yeah, I never would have caught that if you didn't point that out, or
Yep.
maybe I would have, but like way later, probably like in part 2, I'd have been like, hey, did you notice? And you would have been like, really?
Yeah.
3 hours in? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. In order to become a member of the community, she has to wed. She has to marry someone. That's what everybody does when they're there. You have to have a family, basically. And she just lets it be known that's not really what she's interested in because she's not interested in the difficulties of losing someone. We find out a little bit later as to why. But as they are coming in from a field's day of work, a warship appears over in their atmosphere, coming down over their town. And she runs, sounds the bell, and all things are now tense because everybody knows that the Mother Planet assassins are here and they're in need of whatever they're in need of. Yada
So
yada.
Inglorious Bastards.
That's what I
Yeah.
honestly.
When Christoph Waltz shows up.
That's
Right.
who I thought. That's what I was gonna say. That's who
Yeah.
I thought he was.
Damn.
Kind of.
For like
Kinda.
3.5
Actual
seconds,
Nazi.
I'm like, is that Christoph
Yeah.
Waltz? I was
No,
like,
no.
hey, they got
young.
Christoph Waltz. That's. And
I
then you
mean,
get
as
the
a
front shot of his
character.
face and you're like, bleh,
Mm.
not Christoph Waltz. So not Christoph Waltz appears. No.
That's messed up. With his
Not
shillelagh.
Nazis. The not Nazis.
The not Nazis, right?
Even though they're all
but yeah.
white.
They're all white. They have Nordish accents. Except for they don't have blue eyes and they're not blonde, but they got pretty close.
Yeah, right.
And because they are clearly Sith, they're all damn near pale.
Very pale. Yes.
That
Could be a race of vampires. I don't know.
They could definitely be a race of vampires, especially with what happens at the end.
Right. It's true.
Man, I can't wait to get into that one.
Hey, I can't wait to be king, but we're gonna have to get there in a minute.
Man.
But yeah, so Korra sounds the bell, and Sindri ends up being the person chosen by the town to speak for them. But as he's tries to woo the admiral with ale and lies to him about the crops, and then asks the guy who actually does the crops, and he kind of tells the truth. And now the admiral feels like he's being played. He feels like he's being lied to. And what happens? Gunner decides to speak out of turn and say, "Oh, well, maybe we have some surplus, and hey,
Can you shut up?
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
I sell my surplus to the enemy. Can you close your mouth? You ain't
Right.
even supposed to be here right now."
Yeah.
Like literally,
so-
he literally should have not been allowed in the tavern for that moment. But that's just, I don't know.
So the crickets come to the ant colony and demand that they give them their harvest.
Bugs Life.
Yes,
It's a bug's life.
it's a Bug's Life for sure. And everybody, look, whether it's
And then the ants decide to fight the crickets when they come back.
Spot on.
I'm gonna keep doing this as soon as while we go through it because
Hey, as you should.
There's a lot.
Because that's spot on. That's
Right.
spot on. So yeah, he speaks out of turn, and now the admiral, what is that? Admiral Atticus, right?
no, Admiral Noble.
Sorry.
No.
Yeah, his last name is Noble, I think.
Maybe it's Atticus Noble.
Could be, yeah. Sure.
I don't know. So I seen the Atta something somewhere. Attaboy. Anyway, Admiral Noble. He takes his shillelagh and he walks up to Gunner because he spoke out and he's saying, "I'm gonna show you what I do when people are insubordinate. I'm gonna show you right here in front of you what I do when people are subordinate, and he has Sindri on his back, and he's face to face with Gunner, and he turns and he Barry Bonds, Mark McGuire,
Lucy,
sorry,
Mhm.
Lucille, sorry,
Shohei Ohtani
Negan.
smacks that man's face out of the ballpark and gets him up out of this thing. I'm not sure how that turned into a Lucille Ball thing, but okay.
No, not Lucille Ball. Lucille with Negan. That was the
Mhm.
name of his bat with the barbed wire around it
We talking
from
about
from Walking
Yeah.
Dead.
Walking Dead. Got it. Yes, he Lucy'd him. Not roofied him, but Lucy'd him.
And then he gives them 9 weeks to get all of the grain that they need.
He'll be back
Or-
on week 10.
He'll be back on week 10, even though they directly go to a giant town that has hundreds and thousands of people in it that probably have much more resources. Why are you
Mhm.
going to this tiny little village and taking their food?
Because why not?
Because
Okay.
Bully.
Yeah.
because I'm bigger than you and I can do stuff.
And when you got a small town like that, they ain't got no resources to fight back.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I just think that if you have the whole weight of the empire behind you, you don't really need to worry all that much about a small village.
It's right. Just picking on folk that don't need it. But
It
that's
would
what he did.
actually, it probably would have been more predictable, but it would have been a better idea if they were hunting the girl.
Well, technically they were.
Technically, yes.
Technically, the
And he
empire
recognized her.
Mhm.
Yes. He recognized her after the fact, but she was in the
No.
longhouse.
He
recognized her.
He just did. It didn't really click.
Well, because he acknowledged that he saw her when she was first there. Later in the movie, he acknowledges that he saw her and he recognized her. He just didn't do anything about it.
Which so confused me so
Right.
much so. I was like, if you knew back then, we should have got
Yeah.
at least a fight scene, a chase scene, something at the beginning.
Yeah, like
No.
in Rogue One.
Or at least
No.
she's hiding out and we don't know why
No?
she's hiding out.
Oh,
Something, you
sorry.
know.
Yeah,
My
I
bad.
don't know. I don't really get
I see what you did there, Mike.
the motivation there.
No, yeah, I get you though.
I guess she
but
was
so-
kind of slinking in the background of the log house.
A little
and,
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
but he
like
said he saw her, so I mean that
Yeah.
renders all of that pointless.
right.
Yeah. But then we meet Jimmy, the robot who has a consciousness or a conscious. And apparently Jimmy wasn't always a robot. It seems like he's a human consciousness placed inside of a robot.
No,
can
I
see
think
that.
I think what happens to the robots is there's so few of them now, because the soldiers are really excited that they get one in the village. Because they were programmed to protect the king, that was their prime programming, and now
Oh,
the king
yeah.
is dead. They don't
That's
have
true.
an ancillary programming.
Can I say
Right.
that was the most interesting character though?
Of course, it is.
That got
Yeah.
almost no screen time.
None.
I think a lot
none.
of part 2 is going to be about Jimmy. Actually.
Yeah, probably.
It has to be.
Jimmy and Cora, because we know they have some level of bond because of what we know about Cora.
Maybe.
Unless she's the one that killed them.
We still don't know that, but I get you.
Yeah, we don't know who killed him, but
But I thought that. Me and Mike.
I don't think it can be her, but it's debatable at this point.
Okay. I don't.
Based on what they said in the movie, I mean, you could make an argument for it,
She
but
would have technically been an outsider too. So
Right.
there's a lot of signs that do kind of point to her.
right. But at
How
the
you-
same time, she
how are you
loved
gonna
that little
kill
girl.
somebody? Yeah, how are you going to kill somebody when your daughter can resurrect the dead?
Right.
Man. Well,
King's
Moving right
just
along.
dead. They
We al-
ain't
well,
dead.
yeah.
We're gonna
we
find
also
out they're
find
not
out that
dead.
she was a puppet. I have a theory that one of them aren't dead, but we'll talk about which one of those that are.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know if that was any level of proper grammar, but if it didn't get across, shame on you. But yes, so as Nick just said, Jimmy was sworn with all the other robots to protect the slain king and the daughter of the slain king, who is now the slain king. But he is told that the hope for that world or that time lives within him. Cora ends up leaving the village because all of the villagers are planning for mercy. And the mercy they're expecting is from the admiral that just killed their spokesperson because somebody else spoke out. But they're expecting some level of mercy from him. And because of that, she plans on leaving them behind because she don't want no parts of that. She don't want to be around. And then she hears that Sam is being grabbed. Sam is one of the girls in the village. And she's been snatched up by some of the soldiers that were left behind. And they're taking advantage of her because one of the younger soldiers like her. He's taken a liking to her.
You
And
know,
by him
it was almost blatantly that the raping was about to begin when that started.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The raping. Sorry.
It was very evident what their
It was
intent
telegraphed, I should say.
Yeah,
Yes.
and what they
Yeah.
were planning, what they were
Gonna get
I
into.
wouldn't say promoting. Yeah, I wouldn't say promoting, but what they were pushing into that scene, thought wise.
I would
However-
say it's the only drive of the motherland.
Right.
Yeah,
Is to
To
go
rape
find
as much as they can across the universe.
Yeah, pretty much. They don't have much more of a like purpose.
Motivation.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
really have a motivation. They're trying to find the
No reason.
ragtag group of rebels that we have never seen do anything. It's just we're told that they're rebels.
Right. We don't even know what they're rebelling against specifically.
Right.
well, Empire.
I would assume they're I would assume that they're rebelling against all the sexual assault.
Right. Because
That's
what
right.
else has the mother planet done that you can really point to? Because it's not really made clear, what atrocities they've been committing.
No, not at all.
And if so, the atrocities have only been over the last 2 months, basically.
Right.
Yeah, not very long.
Right. I mean,
Unless the Slaying King was also trash, and then why would everybody be mad?
well, I think that's kind of implied that he was kind of trash and that his daughter was supposed to become the queen after him for some reason
Right,
instead
that
of finding a
was implied.
king.
No, she was going to become the king.
Yeah, however that works.
Don't change the script.
I'm not changing nothing. Hey, that's your job.
Woman king too.
Oh,
There you go.
I see what you did there. So
Mhm, mhm.
that's what. Oh, okay.
Or did
okay.
Nick do that? I mean, or did Keelan do that?
Did I do that?
Did you imply it or no?
I definitely implied it.
Yeah. See, I wasn't. I was. That's why I said, however that worked.
Yeah, I was definitely implying that. So yeah, Cora rushes over there and she saves Sam and Marcus from what the soldiers were going to do to the both of them, hurt Sam and take advantage of. Hurt Marcus and take advantage of Sam. But as she helps them, she ends up being held hostage. But Jimmy walks in and picks
Hold
up a
on.
rifle.
She single-handedly
you're
murders
right, you're
12
right.
dudes.
Sorry.
12 soldiers.
Well, no, because
she comes in
the soy boy soldier helped her get a couple.
a couple.
One
Okay.
or two, maybe.
But
Right.
she comes in and we don't know anything about this lady, but as Nick just said, he's absolutely correct. What we see is Cora comes in and she turns Ultra Saiyan on these guys. Like
Mhm.
if there's a fighting move, she knows it. If there's a way to kill, she's capable of it.
Right.
I'm sitting here confused initially, like, what part of this is the movie? Like, we don't know any. Can we at least know who or what she is? Like, is she human even? Because it was crazy. And that was actually one of the scenes I'm talking about that looked overly choreographed to where
Yeah,
it just didn't
it
even
did.
look believable.
There was
Right.
a guy right behind her doing the waiting his turn to get hit.
Oh.
Yeah, waiting his
oh.
turn to get
Hey,
hit.
hey, at least she took a couple of fake hits.
Yeah, it wasn't that
Fair.
bad. It's just that it's kind of silly. Like just make the character use their be smarter. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like if she can also kick butt, but also just like make her smarter to give her a little bit of edge when she's surrounded by 10 people. Even in a like the top fitness UFC fighter couldn't take on 10 people at a time.
Right.
Like,
Well,
come on.
and for me, it was looking at the fact that they were alcohol-induced rage maniacs already. Like they were already
That makes them harder to
juiced
stop.
up.
That makes them harder
I'm
to
sitting
stop.
there like, what is this? What I didn't get it. I expected to really
Yeah.
just walk in shooting them down. That would
Yeah, that
would
would've
have
been fine.
to me.
That would have made
Mhm.
more sense,
It
actually.
would have.
But
way
and for
more.
me, it was just
spend.
context.
Because
We
guns
don't
are
know
the great
anything.
equalizer.
Yeah.
Right. But again, for me, it was really context. Like we don't know anything about her for
Right.
this to just happen out of nowhere. But
It could have been a great Western moment too, if you wanted her to be sort of the quick draw. You know, like she strolls in and it's a standoff between maybe not 10 people, but like 6, say. And she's able to draw on all 6 before they can get their weapons out. You know, like
Right.
that would have been a cool idea. Instead, we
Right.
get this super always with the slow mo, and Zack Snyder's too much slow mo.
You know what? My favorite part
so-
was when he pulled a knife on the girl in the middle of the gunfight.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, yes. Yeah, you know, sometimes you do bring a knife to a gunfight.
I'm gonna hold her hostage while you shoot all my friends.
Yes,
Because that
yes.
makes sense.
Oh, that girl.
Yeah, instead of just killing her immediately. Yeah,
I mean, hey, he's not a
She-
killer, guys.
she just killed like
No, he's
10
just a graper.
infantrymen. Yeah. Anyways,
So-
the robot comes to save the day.
Right.
Yeah, the robot comes and saves them, and yeah, at this point, a bunch of them are dead, and they must fight. Now she knows immediately she has to go find General Titus and learn him how to lead the group. So you got to go find the general and teach him how to lead.
Right.
Just
And-
say to me, ma'am.
Because he's not a general.
So whoever thinks they're going to teach a general how to lead. What did you just say to me?
Oh, you mean General Iroh?
He's General Iroh.
The
from Avatar.
outcasted general from the bad guys.
Yeah.
From Avatar.
Mhm.
The only thing he was missing, he definitely would have been uncle. He definitely would have been General Iroh. If there was someone else with him,
Right.
we would have had to.
I like how he went from being a squid to a regular dude.
He definitely was a squid man.
He was. Yeah.
Dirty squid man.
Oh God. All right, we'll get there. We'll get there.
What do you want? Yeah, sorry.
Oh man.
So they have to fight in Corano. She has to go and find General Titus to mentor him to lead. But then she leaves with Gunner as they go on their mission, and this is when we actually learn something about Korra. Now it all starts to make a little bit of sense. We find out that Korra was
They
a
head over to
soldier,
Tatooine.
right? She was a
Mos
soldier
Eisley.
in the for the Mother Realm.
Oh, you mean she was Gamora?
She was definitely Gamora. She was the baddest of them all. Thanos' daughter.
Right.
Mhm.
Literally.
Literally Thanos' daughter.
Her family was killed.
Oh
by
man.
Viserys, aka Thanos.
Right.
And he took her and turned her into the deadliest warrior this universe has ever known, aka Gamora.
Yes.
And then he raised her as his daughter, aka
Right.
Gamora, and molded her in his image, aka that of a killer. She's everything except a Titan.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Everything but green, you mean?
Right, yeah.
When she was a child, she was taken by Thanos. I'm sorry, Balsarius, because she had a gun when he found her, and he gave her the opportunity to blow his head off. I guess somehow he knew the trigger wouldn't pull on him.
I think the safety was on.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. But either way, he knew it wouldn't fire apparently, and she did pull the trigger. And that's when he decided he was going to raise her as his own because he knew that she had what he had in him.
Perfectly balanced.
You know? Right. I think that scene would have been better if the gun had gone off, but because she's so little, the recoil made it miss and like took off a piece of ear or something, and he'd have been like, "What?"
A different face scar or something.
Right. I think that would have made the scene a little better for me.
I mean, dope.
Definitely.
But because they shoot plasma and not bullets, I think that just would have burned his whole face off.
And I don't think there's
I'm okay with that too.
recoil.
End of the movie.
Oh yeah, and there's no recoil. That's a great point, Nick.
Yeah.
To that, yeah, okay, fair enough. Raised her in the name of the family that slain her family, and named her Archelaus or Archelaus.
Oh, right.
Why Archelaus? Archelaus.
Because it sounds cool.
Yeah. It's kind of like King Arthur, right? In the Knights of the Round Table.
Don't we know somebody named that?
Archelaus?
Something like that.
Oh, you funny. I get what you did there. Dang, that's funny. Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, she went to the Academy Militarium for her life and was taught the hard lessons of war. She was one of them. And then her lover died in battle, which was her why to stay in battle. And then
I did
she had
like
an
that.
offer. Yeah, that was pretty dope because
I thought that was cool that they actually tell them to find somebody that you can bond with to motivate you to have a reason to fight. I actually did like that. I thought that was pretty dope.
It's pretty smart of them as a cult.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives at least some coloring to the like the motives.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like the background to the race of people.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the
Viltrumites with one another. Even Oh yeah.
Man, you just all over the place.
I'm telling you.
That season 2 got to you, hunting it.
Yeah.
We probably talk about that a different day. But at 18, Archelaus, who is not Cora at this point, but Archelaus is given her own battalion at the age of 18. She is broke. She is rebuilt. They warrant her as the leader of this battalion and the most deadly.
She becomes the leader of the royal guard, basically.
Yeah.
I was just giving that, that
rabble.
Oh man, I might have just missed the mic. Either way. But at that point, we flash back to where Archelaus and Gunnar are, and they get into a tavern, into a town. The first thing they see is
Yeah,
exactly.
The Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
1000%.
Yeah.
But the first thing they see is they are called Shaw Hoods. Hawkshaws. The Hoodwinks. The Hawkshaws are there, and they're bounty hunters, and they already have the guy that they were looking for, so that's already going to be a problem.
Oh yeah.
Like immediately they walk in, like, hey, that's the guy that we need. Then he's gone.
And I feel like that's a scene out of Star Wars or one of those already too.
No, I just think it's kind of weird writing to do it that way, where it's like you get to the place you're going, and then they're like, hey, that's the guy that we need. He's being taken by the bad guys. Right. Oh well, now we got to go find another way.
Very anime-esque, actually.
I thought maybe I was being a little inappropriate when I was like, isn't that the guy from the beginning scene, or do they all look alike?
Which one?
The purple face guy.
Oh, I don't know.
When he popped back up, I was like, isn't that the same dude? Or like, does everybody in the race look alike though? But then I thought, is that inappropriate?
I don't know. I forget which guy you're talking about, to be honest.
Oh, the Hood Shaw Hood. Shaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
the
was
guy
the
with that.
Guy.
The guy that he put in the crucifix thing. Yeah, I thought when he popped up later, I was like, is that the same one? Because it looks like the same guy, but is that racist? Because do they all look alike?
No, that was the same blue guy. Yes.
Was it blue or purple? I forgot.
Oh, it was Boba Fett. You should have just said Boba
right,
Fett.
right.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes. You know what? You're right. You are absolutely.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But yeah, the Hawk. I don't know if all the Hawkshaws look alike, but that was the same Hawkshaw. We find that out later because some relation between him and another person.
He just needed a little cute buddy to hang out with.
What?
He needed a little cute buddy to hang out with.
Baby Yoda.
You said it. I didn't.
Yeah.
I was confused. Let's see. We are.
I was gonna say his actual name, but I couldn't remember what it was because I never watched it.
I don't think anybody knows his actual name, even the people who.
We're in the cantina. We're in the cantina, and Dario is going to get R-worded by the alien.
Thank you.
Another graping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Gunnar is approached by an alien who wants to buy him and purchase his wares because he thinks he's a sex slave, which is crazy. Yeah, that's what did you think he thought?
No, I know. It's just
Oh,
It's just
What
so out of.
universe is this?
I know, dude. My note says everybody wants to R each other.
yeah, clearly. That is the whole point of this whole thing.
It's like the only motivation that any character has is to assault each other.
Everybody's trying to get their rocks off.
Yeah.
But what? What's her name? Cora. She
Cora.
tells him to fuck off because he ain't for sale. He with me, kind of shit.
Mhm.
Oh boy, don't like that. She tell him,
It's
"Hey, get
my
out of here
meat."
before." Right? She tell him, "Get out of here before I deal with you." You know what I'm saying? Before I do something to you. And he comes back with his boys, and she proceeds to kick his ass anime style,
Mhm.
which is actually pretty interesting.
Was it?
But yeah.
Okay.
But they find out through an alien that is like a parasite and attaches to other people that the guy, General Titus, that they're looking for is on another planet protected by a guy named Leviticus. And Leviticus will be able to also tell them how to get to the blood axis. And it's like, oh, okay. You know a lot, little creepy alien kid that don't want nothing from me, but you keep attaching to this human so you could talk to me.
The princess
is
you're
weird.
looking for is in another castle.
Right?
I got a list, man.
Clearly.
Listen, I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
I'm ready for every moment of this.
Oh, man.
This is in my notes where I asked the question. So is the rebellion Nazis or no? We already discussed that. Yes.
The
We just felt like
rebellion
Gunner
is
getting
certainly
hit on.
not Nazis.
No, the rebellion's not Nazis.
Not.
Oh, I'm sorry, not the Nazis. I mean not the rebellion, right? The
The mother
government.
planet.
The mother planet is the mother planet, the Nazi. The
Mhm.
Nazi regime. Both of them. I ain't gonna say
I
nothing
mean,
else.
why not?
So let's see, they get the information on General Titus's location and how to get to the blood axis. Actually, no, they figured out how to get to the blood axis for another reason. Anyway, the patron returns a backup. Oh, they are saved by Kai, who is a guy who has a ship and needs a transport to Pollux. I mean, and they need a transport to Pollux, so they go with him. I didn't like him from the beginning because where'd this dude come from?
Right.
Well, his ship made the Kessel Run in under 12 parsecs.
See, it's funny. You remember him as that. I always remember him as the guy that's not Heath Ledger.
Well, yeah. No, I was just saying he's Han Solo.
Right.
He's Han Solo. Yeah.
But on their way to Pollux, they must stop in Nuwadi. The Hawkshaws are watching the ship as they leave the dock, which automatically let me know something wasn't right there. They are. Oh, we find out that Admiral Noble has word that there is a creature that has information for him, and the creature just happened to be the guy that they snatched up and put into the crucifix type thing. I'm trying to figure out, does Admiral Atticus or Admiral Noble, was he using like alien tentacles for pleasure, or what was going on there? Well, we also find out they're part robot or something like that, clearly.
Yeah, he does drugs by sticking a matrix tube into his lungs.
His lung portals.
Because apparently it's more effective than inhaling the smoke or vapor. And then it looks like his girlfriend or significant other is a tentacle monster.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I thought that part was anime like.
Well, I don't think they call it anime, but I get what you mean.
Well, that fair enough.
Yeah.
So they meet Tarek, a man who
Turok.
is that is definitely Turok.
Mm-hmm.
A man who that's Turok and Matthew McConaughey meshed into one. That's literally Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
As one person.
We gonna ride these animals today.
It's Tarzan. He's Tarzan.
Right. There you go.
I'll go with Turok before Tarzan because he didn't swing from no vines.
I mean, who knows? He can talk to animals.
Right.
With his magical native powers.
That is a fair point. I have nothing more to add. But yeah.
Was that the eye candy for the ladies?
The dude never put a shirt on the entire time. Yeah,
that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. At the end of the movie, he still doesn't have a shirt. I said to myself, they couldn't have just given him a shirt. Is he not, like what? Why?
He's
He'll need a
allergic
shirt in
to
space, I
shirts.
guess.
Yeah.
Look, even in space, his skin is resilient. He don't need it.
Right. Right.
They'll give him an oxygen tank. He's just gonna throw that thing on and put on a helmet and be out there talking about.
The most
Yep.
interesting part of this scene was the griffin bird. Now.
Awesome.
You mean the hippogriff from Harry Potter, where you have to do the same thing that Harry Potter taught us?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You must bow to it first and let it come to you. Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon.
I mean, literally, how to train your dragon. Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, and that's exactly what Tarek has to do. He has to break Binu, which is a bet they have with the guy who he owes a debt to. That if he breaks this bird named Binu, then he can go free. And he does. He breaks Binu, and Binu tries to kill him a couple times, but it's a rough start. They make it through. It's just a test. He wins. After he
So
leaps back
easily.
on. Yeah, he wins very easily, but at the
I
same
mean,
time, not so
even
much so.
Anakin had to win a pod race to win his
Right.
freedom. I mean,
Damn, that is Power Racers, isn't it?
yeah.
It's even the same canyon.
Right.
Even did some of the same maneuvers.
Hell.
Yep.
Hey.
That's awesome.
You know what? And my takeaway from that scene was that dude didn't have to die. That was messed up.
There. Oh,
Right.
yes, he did.
He was like, he seemed like a decent dude.
Who?
The dude he owed the debt to.
He seemed like a decent.
He
dude.
wasn't dirty. He honored it and everything. He just wanted
Oh,
him
well,
to
that
do the
part's
one
fair.
thing.
You know what? That's fair. I didn't consider that.
He didn't do nothing dirty, and it was like he probably was a dirty scoundrel, but we don't know.
You're right. The only yep, you're absolutely right.
He wasn't a Watto. That's what,
There's only one dirty There's only one dirty scoundrel that we knew of immediately. And
Right,
it wasn't
Mhm.
him.
right. And we all kind of knew, but nobody was sure until it was proven.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, you're right. Maybe he didn't have to die, but I think the Binu, the animal, for whatever reason, he had his own reasons, or she had her own
Hey.
reasons.
Right? No, fair enough. I had to chalk it up because I was like, it didn't have to happen like that. Because I mean, even if you didn't want to cooperate, you could have just flew away.
he didn't
That's
bow.
a fair point. He did. Yeah, he didn't bow.
He didn't
Right?
bow.
You're right.
He got
So
Draco
maybe he had
Malfoy.
to die. Maybe he had to die because he wasn't following the rules.
Damn it.
Dang. I just thought about that. Maybe that's why he died. Because I thought he died because he was a piece of shit. But maybe he died simply because he wasn't taught how to actually approach them.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't understand why Tarek would Matthew McConaughey stare in and yes, I'm willing. I can do it. And
Because he's doing his Daniel Day-Lewis from Dances with Wolves. Like that's the
Daniel
motif he was
Day-Lewis?
going for. Yeah. Dances
He was
with,
in
or
Dances
was it
with
no
Wolves?
Last of the Mohicans? Sorry, Last of the
Oh, I was like, wait a minute. I don't remember him in that.
Mohicans. Yeah, my bad.
And
I was
fair enough.
watching Dances with Wolves. That's my thing right there.
I got my Last Samurai movie mixed up.
Oh,
All the same movies. Everything's the same movie.
Aren't they?
It is.
So yeah, they
So
get
Turok gets his
Last
freedom.
Mohican, right?
hmm
Oh yeah. After that, they leave and they go to a new planet so that they can find anywhere else, which is what Korra asks Kai if he knows anyone else. They go and they recruit Nemesis, who is a warrior, who takes them on a mission she has to go fight Harmata, who is a human-like alien spider organism that's only upset because the villagers and the people who have moved to the planet have created such toxins in the air that it's destroying her skin and killing her, and she is unable to reproduce. Her eggs don't fertilize and grow.
I felt
because they are
bad for her.
because they are poisoning her land and her environment.
Mm.
But And because of that, because no one's willing to help and no one understands what she or cares to talk about or understand what she's doing, she kidnaps the children, not for food. She kidnaps the children to torture the mothers so that they know the pain she feels of her children dying constantly.
I
I
related
thought
to
that was
that.
something worth listening to.
Right.
Yeah. It's like there's so many of these things. Like first you get the Han Solo, then you get Turok, now you have Nemesis, and then you're gonna get two
The
more of
name
these.
Nemesis alone.
Two more of these, and it's like, okay, they're so short that it's supposed to tell me something about the character, but it doesn't end up doing that. I know nothing about Nemesis. I know nothing about Turok, except that we find out that he's a prince. Would have
Yeah.
been
Who
nice
cares?
to know that.
Right.
We
We
found
It
know
out
was
nothing
so
about
irrelevant. It didn't
Well,
make.
we
It
know
didn't
about
even
all of
matter.
them.
Yeah.
Right. Only thing we really know about all of them that we find out is that they're all wanted by the
The motherland,
Imperium.
the mother planet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
convenient, I guess. Yeah. But yes, Yoshimitsu fights the spider. And
She was
that's an
Yoshimitsu,
old
yeah,
school
no.
reference, bro.
Right. The
She was
children won't know.
1000%.
Well, no, they'll know. They'll know.
Maybe.
They'll
Look,
know.
and she was human. Oh, she wasn't quite human Yoshimitsu because she did have robotic arm apparently, right?
Right. So does he,
Mm-hmm.
Who is he? Who has robotic arm?
Yoshimitsu.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, the human Yoshimitsu has a robotic arm, but then later on he's a full robot.
Mhm.
I don't know that. Okay. I thought he was still a cyborg.
When did you stop playing Tekken?
3.
Oh,
Yeah, I
got it.
think me too.
Yeah. Let's see.
No, I played a little bit of Tekken Tag. Just a little bit.
Oh, yeah, Tekken Tag was dope.
Eh.
So let's see.
They killed
She
the spider.
attacks Armada. Yeah, Armada attacks the Nemesis. She mournfully tells them not to celebrate this because it could have been any one of them in the same situation in the name of revenge. I thought that was pivotal.
Right.
That's
Because
what they're all there for.
that was my Avatar moment. There's nothing sad about this. I mean, there's nothing happy about this. There's only sadness.
Mm-hmm. It's only
Because
sadness.
she was literally just fighting for her own survival.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Literally just retaliating because she's been persecuted and mistreated by an oppressive government and regime that's taken over her land and poisoned her atmosphere and took her health and caused her babies not to grow and mature.
It sounds
Wait,
so
yeah.
familiar.
Wait, right. Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie. Yeah, but thankfully Yoshimitsu has glow stick lightsabers, so that helps.
Man,
I think that was the best fight.
how
Though.
come she didn't start with that?
Because they didn't want to. They probably didn't want to do the lightsaber thing. Initially, she starts off with swords, like an
Right.
old, you know, like Bushido
Yeah.
samurai.
She's samurai.
Not quite katanas, but
Yeah, a little bit thicker than katanas, but still, like, why are you using swords in this world? I don't understand. Everybody has laser guns. I don't.
But all she has to do is do
don't get
this, and she can block it. So
I don't know if
Really?
that's true. It's not Beskar steel, is it?
what?
bruh.
Beskar steel is the only steel that can block blaster bolts and lightsabers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
New info for me.
Mm.
So yes, in the name of revenge, but as Arthaleus, Korra was made the royal guard to the princess. She saw the princess revive dead animals and other things, and the king believed that the daughter's compassion would correct the kingdom and believed that their friendship is what protected his child. After that, they find General Titus and convince him that he needs to get off his ass and get ready
And
to
take
get
a shower.
revenge.
His
Yeah,
name is
watch
Inigo Montoya. You guys give him some respect. He had to get washed up. No, I mean just from the Princess Bride. He's the
Right.
legendary swordsmith that ends up a bum on the streets and then needs to get cleaned up. Yeah.
I knew exactly who you meant.
Yeah.
I think I saw the Princess Bride.
Oh, that's a great one.
Oh,
It's very good.
shame on you.
Mhm.
Guess I'm missing out.
Yeah.
It's a good
in
movie.
yeah, if you like things like Spaceballs and that, it's
Yeah.
kind of in the same
Love
vein of the
Spaceballs.
Yeah,
sort of the fantasy
on a
satire.
fantasy. Yeah, no,
Okay.
there's no magic, right?
Not really.
No, yeah,
Oh, then what's the point?
no, you'll like it. You'll like it,
Because
guaranteed.
it's more of a comedy than anything.
Yeah,
Got it. I could do it. I could like that. I mean, I could. I always like good comedies. Let's see. She revives the animals, and oh yeah, they get to General Titus. He takes a shower, and and Korra convinces him that he should join them so that he can get his revenge for his dead soldiers rather than mourn them and get drunk and just die. She also says that kindness is a virtue worth dying for.
is it?
That's what she said.
Everybody's so easily convinced.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like
They
it's
just
like,
all
hey,
go
did we
along
just
with it.
become best friends? Yep.
Yep.
That's
Friday
it.
in the garage? Yep. You gonna fly to a different planet? Yep. The guy gives General or Admiral Noble the
Damn.
information that he's looking for, and of course they kill him on sight. Like there's nothing, and I feel like they only killed him to show us what that machine is really used for,
Yeah.
and kind of set up what happens a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
we
they
see
killed
that-
him.
They do.
You talking about the dude in the crucifix thing, right?
Yeah, they gave them the information.
Yeah, I don't think they killed him. I think they said they stunned him so they could scan his brain.
No, I think
Oh, no,
they
they can
killed
scan your
him,
brain
and then
after
they're
you're
gonna
dead.
and then they're just gonna take his brain out and dissect it.
Okay, I thought they said something about stunning him.
No, they
Nah,
talk
I
about
think they're
stunning
butchers.
them later, when they use the crucifixes later, because you can, I guess, either you can poke them in the spine or you can puncture their spine. I don't know.
Right.
There's two different settings on that. You got to be very careful about which one you choose because you know.
One's permanent, apparently.
Right.
That's
let's
messed up. But who didn't see that coming?
Of course.
Who trusted a space Nazi with a shillelagh?
I mean, he's really one-dimensional. There is no nuance to his villainry.
He has great character growth towards the end, but we'll get into that.
Mm.
Okay, that's an interesting statement. Korra speaks to King Levitica, and the Blood Axes arrive. They're notified that they are needed in the fight against the Imperium, and Darien agrees to fight. His sister like, "Why you doing this? What's up, player? And what about your soldiers?" And he's like, "Hey, yo, that's their life to live. They can either come or they can stay." And he gives them a choice. His soldiers decide. Some of them decide to stay. Some of them decide to go with him. He tells his sister to thank Levitica for all he's done for them and to leave the planet immediately, which is when they all leave and head out. This is also when Kai decides to tell Korra that he wants to help in the fight and he wants to be an honorable man because she makes him want to be honorable and leave the thief life behind. And I'm like, honorable man? What? Hey, you're not the best warrior. I don't care what they told you. If you don't see what's going on here, ma'am, you're stupid.
Right.
She was stupid.
At that point, I was like, oh, so this is where the double cross comes in.
Yeah, it was like not a hidden.
It was
thing.
telegraphed, all of it. Every time it happens. Every time something nefarious is about to happen, it's like, oh, okay, here comes this. Just like here comes the grape.
Mm.
I was literally like, okay, this is where the graping starts, and then not even a minute into the next scene, the graping attempts start.
Right.
Now the one at the bar, that one kind of caught me off guard. I was like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah, I didn't know what he was on. Honestly, I thought at the bar, I thought he was after Korra. Wrong.
And
You gotta keep your head on a swivel, bro.
Right, and he had scrotum face and everything. I was like, well, wait a minute.
And he had hot dog neck. I don't care what you talking about.
This is space. Everybody can get it.
Right. Oh man.
I don't know about all that, but yeah, I guess so.
That's what this movie says.
Yeah.
Let's see. So then we go back to the planet after they leave, and he said he wants to be an honorable man, and we see Admiral Noble he kills Leviticus for assisting the rebels and tells him that his charity. He has this old cockamamie story about the charity of the king that has been slain, and all that good junk. Anyway, the Hawkshaws now we find out the Hawkshaws work for the Admiral, and they have been giving information, letting them know that Kai is or that letting them know that the rebellion's group is headed to a particular place. We find out that Kai has to drop his cargo at the depot, and that is where the trap is laying. This is where this asshat lets it be known that he intended to collect everyone's bounty. There's a bounty on Nemesis. There's a bounty on General Titus. There's a bounty. No, there's no bounty on Gunner because he's nobody.
Yeah.
There's a bounty on Tarek. And then the greatest bounty of all is on Artelaeus, aka Cora, because she is the most deadly assassin who has gotten away from the Imperium.
Did they call her a deadly assassin?
They call her the most dangerous, or the Bartolaeus. What does he call it? What is his name?
Balsacius.
Balharius.
But yeah, he calls her the most dangerous warrior in the entire Imperium
Ever.
Right, because I don't want to say assassin, because then that implies she did kill the king, and we don't know that.
You're right.
Not
You're
yet.
right. He just calls her a warrior. But I think that if she did it, it would be for him because he's the one that took power. But I understand what you're saying. We don't know.
No,
that.
right.
And at
That
this
makes
point,
sense.
it's
That does
unfair
make
to
that
her.
make sense. Right.
Because that's what I think. But it is unfair to her from a character arc stance at the moment.
Yeah, I can't blame Han Solo though.
No,
Why?
not at all. Why
That's
would
a
he?
good. That's a
What?
gigantic bounty. You got 6 people, dude. You get so much money for that.
Literally have what? Apparently, her General Titus and Prince Tarek are like all in the top 10, probably.
And Nemesis.
Yeah.
Well,
and
Nemesis
then-
might not be in the top 10, but she's won it.
Yeah.
She's definitely won at high levels. He mentioned it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so you have what, 5 high level or 6 high level? No, 5 high level. 6 of them altogether, but 4 of them
That's
are
why
high
he
level.
got what he got.
Right.
And
he
the
got it
leader
from
of
right
the
person.
resistance.
Right.
Yeah, and the leader. Yeah, we're not even bringing up Darian. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Let's see.
Yeah, that's what the movie said. Who?
Yeah, 'cause he was blink of an eye. He's out of there, bro.
Yeah, literally
so-
the next scene. He's introduced
Mhm.
in one scene, and then he's dead in the next scene.
Mr.
Right, we
Dreads.
see him, but he's not really introduced until we get to this. So he
Who does he remind me of?
Some rapper.
That's racist.
No, I'm not being funny. He reminds me of Waka Flocka.
Oh,
I'm honestly not being funny. He reminds me of Waka Flocka. I kept wondering, like, yo,
Flocka.
did Waka get a movie role? This was
I don't even know what he
looked.
looked like. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
He looked like Darian Bloodaxe.
oh,
without
it's
the
Ray
blue shit on his
Fisher.
head.
That's why.
Ray Fisher?
Ray Fisher. He played what's its name? Cyborg.
Oh,
That's him?
Shoot, that's what Cyborg
Yeah.
looked like with hair.
Yeah, apparently
Wow.
A totally different person.
he does.
I didn't realize it. I was thinking he looked like the dude from Alien 3. Not 3. Alien Resurrection. And he was in what is that? Crime drama? CSI, one of those. You know, the black dude with the dreads and the light color. That's who I kept thinking he was.
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No.
That's who I kept thinking.
No.
Hey,
The guy
man.
that plays the guy who plays in Mercutio
No,
no.
no, that's the dude that was in the prison show, and he was also
Oh
in.
yeah.
Nah,
Anyways,
looked-
it's Ray Fisher.
right.
It's Cyborg.
That's who
It's
he
somebody
is,
we don't.
who-
Yeah. it's
Right. Moving right
Um,
along,
So yeah, let's see. Oh no, we're not there yet, but that's what we're getting.
and he
to.
dies
So-
pointlessly.
Mhm.
Right. The Hawkshaws work for the Admiral. The cargo's being dropped. It's a trap. Gunner is forced to kill Cora, but instead he decides to free her, kill Kai,
Finally,
and then help
Finally
free
did
everyone
something
else.
useful.
When
right?
everyone gets free, this is the time that Darian Bloodaxe sees
Wait a
that
minute.
there is a gunner. Yep.
Can we just? Why didn't anybody just immediately shoot all the prisoners?
Hell, who knows, man? They were surrounded
guy
by
trope number one.
guards. Yeah.
Why would
Right.
you wait for them to get free?
Bad guy trope number 1: never protect your investment.
No,
Right.
no, because that usually comes with a speech where they tell them the whole plan.
He did give him a whole speech. He didn't tell him the whole plan, but he did give him a whole speech when he was walking around talking, gloating
Right, but
about
he
who
was
he
explaining
had.
who they were. It was just like, oh, that's why they're significant to the story that we didn't understand who these random ragtag group of people come together are.
I mean, we
Mhm.
didn't know who any of these people were until about 30 minutes. Until it was almost 30 minutes till the end, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered the white scene where she revives the bird. Sorry, I know I'm going backwards, but that scene is directly out of Game of Thrones. I don't care what nobody says.
Is it?
The one where it's all snow and it's just her and the little girl and she revives the bird.
I don't know. Is there a resurrection scene in Game of Thrones? There might be. I can't remember. I've wiped it from my mind.
It's not. I don't think it's a resurrection. I think it is a resurrection. When what is his name? The one that ends up in the wheels
Bran?
there, the great Bran.
No, Bran.
Bran before he becomes the great tree. I want to say he does resurrect the bird.
Oh, Bran before he becomes Graham, because he's in a wheelchair. Damn.
Well, the ship falls out of the sky. No, so yeah, Darian Bloodaxe decides he's gonna not shoot the gunner that's in the ship.
Right.
He's gonna grab a spear and he's gonna charge at it and miss and get shot twice, and then he's gonna thrust the spear into the chest of the gunner.
One dude.
And then he's gonna fall forward and hit the joystick, and the ship is gonna spin out of control and slam into the bridge.
It accidentally helps them.
Yeah, somehow.
I mean, just freak accident.
Right.
I'm just wondering, like, why did he do that? It made absolutely no sense for him to kill himself that way.
I guess they wanted to make it seem like that gunner was laying down so much fire that they'd never be able to escape, but that wasn't really shown.
They needed that Thor scene.
Isn't that the reason you have, your pilots and your soldiers?
They needed that Thor scene where he jumps up really high, comes down.
No, that's the Drax jumping into the eyeball monster.
Oh, right.
From Guardians.
They had to use a couple of other tropes that they didn't use already.
All the movies that he was up for and didn't get.
Right.
That's. Oh yeah. So
you can't make this shit up.
Somebody's already made it up. That's the problem.
That's the
right.
As the ship falls and it hits the platform where Admiral Noble is, and clearly he's about to fall either to his death or down to this platform, what happens? Korra races to be stuck on the exact same platform with him going down.
On Bespin, the floating city in Empire Strikes Back, where Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker battle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
literally that scene.
Literally that scene.
That's what it looked like the whole time until they fell down to the buoy, and I guess that's when they tried to. This is what happens if they had fought on level 2.
Right. Well, or if Luke had fallen all the way down instead of hitting or grabbing onto that antenna at the bottom.
We might as well just fast forward through the fight scene.
Oh yeah, there's nothing about that fight scene.
There's absolutely
the only thing significant is that he was fighting with a shillelagh.
Yes. Well, and he loses his hand.
Right. He gets stabbed. He loses his hand technically. I don't think they're gonna really have him without a hand. I think he's just gonna already have a hand. She
just becomes Darth Vader.
Right. She becomes Darth Vader.
Knocks him off the platform, stabbing him, and the crew goes back to Gunner's planet to regroup. Atticus Noble is still alive.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
he gets knocked off the platform. He falls at least 1,000 feet.
Very far.
At least 1,000 feet.
At least.
And then he's resurrected. What?
Hold on, wait. But they go back to the planet and he's resurrected. First, I thought he was just resurrected for the astral projection so that they can send him to talk to the regent through their little computer.
They put him in a Matrix pod.
Right.
That is what that was.
Literally made it. This is what I meant about the blatants. They stole the scene in which the camera pans up and you see a person in the Matrix pod. They literally stole that.
He was even in the goo.
He was in the goo,
Yeah.
in the fetal position with all of the
Everything.
cords along his
Right,
spine.
looking like Neo.
Yep.
They either owe the Matrix or Baby Boy some money. One of the two.
I don't know, man.
Damn.
That was a blatant ripoff. That and the
Forgot about
Bespin
that.
fight.
Just
Come
saying.
on,
But no,
Jody
yeah,
Joe.
Jody Joe.
Jody.
No, he did not give him the Jody. Sorry.
Man, bruh.
Um,
First of all, how you falling 1,000+ feet and then your body not disintegrated?
Well, see, the machine, what it was doing is the blue energy was the good energy was going into him, and then it was sucking out his red energy.
he's red. That's true.
Yeah, so it's like, that's how you get better. That's how
Right.
it feels.
The way his bank account set up.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
But so he was sent astral projected so that he could have a discussion with what's his name?
Thanos?
Balsarius, Regent Balsarius.
Yeah.
Who is not happy that Artelaus is a part of the insurgency. He is not happy that she is alive and on a distant planet and with General Titus. He is not happy because these are creative and dangerous people.
And you thought
He
this was
tells-
good news?
You thought this was good news? He said that. I was like, oh,
So
shit.
is the General Balsacius, is he in like a simulation?
In
I
that
don't know.
situation, yeah, it looks like it.
My first thought was when he started threatening, like, man, why don't you just kill this dude right now while he all kind of defenseless looking? Because if he gonna get you, eventually he gonna get you anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he gonna kill him.
You might as well go on and just like, man, you already talking about killing me, man. I might as well go on and take the chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That was what I thought. Because I mean, you already put me in a position where you gonna kill me ruthlessly because I can't kill somebody who's already more ruthless than me, but on the
By
other
your
side.
doing. Yeah, by your doing. I also want to say that he called General Titus a genius. So he clearly is not trying to go up against these two people.
Right.
I wish we had seen anything that would make us believe that. But
Right? He was supposed to be in a gladiator. We didn't even see this man fighting. He was sitting there drunk.
he barely has any lines. It's
Right.
like when he agrees to go with them, that's the end of his lines.
Yeah.
He
Right.
doesn't speak again.
He just looks at people.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he lost his squid tentacles.
Yes.
Yeah, they shaved his face.
Right after the
Looking like-
after the bathing.
That's why we
Looking
didn't
like
see
a
him
gray Davy Jones.
fight. For sure.
I
Look, we
think I
didn't
would
see
have
him
enjoyed
fight.
the bathing a little more.
We didn't see him fight because they Samsoned him.
Right. Yes. Yes. It took his powers away from him.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, in the Bible, it is a sin to shave your beard.
Yeah. Before I get to the end of that, I want to ask, what was King Leviticus? He was some kind of a Jar Jar Binks with more tentacles on his face.
Yeah.
I
Some
think
randomly
he was with the
generated
Trade
alien.
Federation.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Okay,
He
that
was
was off
with
on
the
that.
Trade Federation, and
He was
Yeah.
an ambassador from Naboo. That's what he was.
and Darth Vader was sent to take care of that problem
Mhm.
right before he fought Obi-Wan and lost the high ground. hmm
I don't remember that, but yeah. Let's.
You didn't miss much.
That's fine.
Mhm.
You know, I don't be tripping about what I miss in Star Wars.
hmm
Oh yeah, so Regent Balsarius told Admiral Noble that he needs to eliminate the insurgency and bring him his daughter alive to be
Why?
executed in front of the Senate,
What?
or it will be his screams and his terror at
Right
the
there.
execution that they witness.
Right there. Everybody got to die.
And then he slams his cane again and tells them, "You shall not." Sorry.
Right. You shall
Yeah.
not pass.
Exactly. Right.
The
Well,
ground-
if this guy's stuck in some weird like simulation, I'd just be like, all right, load me out. I'm
Yeah.
good at health.
Shut the
I'm outta
program
here.
down.
I'm leaving. See ya.
Right.
Shut that
I-
program down.
Hey, well, since I can't do nothing, I'm gonna join y'all.
Yeah.
I got my shillelagh.
Right.
Yeah, I got my shit. No, you don't. It
I
was
mean-
broken, remember?
Oh, it was broken. It was broken in half, and he got
Oh,
stabbed
that's
with it.
unbelievable that he can get another one
It was
after
very
he just
special.
fell over 1,000+ feet. That's where the line
That's
is.
where we, I must say that's where we draw the line. New weapons.
Yep.
All right.
He's got to do a
I think-
Kylo Ren and piece it back together.
Ugh.
You know.
He's gonna slap himself in the face and in the head, and power up.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh snap! I love that you guys are mentioning movies that I have absolutely no interest in, and I've only seen pieces of.
You didn't see none of the Star Wars movies?
None of. No, I'm not saying none of, but there was definitely a point where I stopped.
Well, Darth Vader goes and kills the trade. Never mind. All right.
Well, look, just remember, I said when we first started was doing the Marvel stuff, I said
You were
Marvel's not
supposed to be the
first-
best of us.
Yeah.
You were supposed to bring balance to the Force.
Nope. Nothing of it. No.
You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join
Right.
them.
Not join them. I never got these.
You're my brother, Anakin.
God damn it.
You guys love this.
Yep.
They got
Yeah.
you. They got you. Give them your money. Give them your
Mhm.
money.
No, because they won't make anything good again. They keep putting out all this shit.
Give them your money.
No.
We let the second prequel trilogy. We let that go. Misa, let it go.
Yeah.
Misa did, and then they gonna create all this shit. All right, sorry.
Tell me you feel away without telling me you feel away.
You know what? Don't even give me no blaster. You already know what I'm gonna do.
I got you. I got you.
Give me no
but-
saber, damn it.
All
Well,
of
that's
that
the end of
being
the movie.
said, yeah, the
Yeah.
only thing that we're missing is after he falls through the ice or the glass or whatever you want to call that, he is brought back to life by the machines, and they had to hit him with ultra power. You know, we're not getting a heartbeat. Hit him with all of the juice. Turn it to the max.
Right.
He became Super Shredder.
Right.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I'm figuring that gave him some level of ability. He gonna
Turn
be-
it all the way to 11.
Look,
Right.
maybe we're not gonna see no Jedi, but we might see some Sith electricity shooting out his fingertips.
Maybe. Oh, okay.
Force lightning.
Yes, he's got reserve electricity in his body. I like it.
Mhm. You cannot call it that, Mike. Stop.
Yes.
Sorry.
Zack Snyder might hear you say that and be like, "Oh, it's free use." No, it's not.
No, you got to call it special zappy powers. That's what you call it.
Or you could call it Mickey Mouse.
Now, you could do that now. No,
can
Steamboat
do that,
Willie.
yeah.
Steamboat Willie.
Yeah. Hit him with them Steamboat Willie electric powers.
Yes.
Find out one of the other intellectual properties that nobody's using, like the 3 crows or something.
Nobody wants to touch those.
You know what? I was about to go into some jive talking, but I thought better of it. Like, you know what? I'm not perpetuating them. Fuck.
No. Mm-mm.
Screw this. Screw them.
What you said. Well, with that being the case, the Rebel Moon has come to a close. We are now here at our final thoughts, review, ratings, and yeah, there's not much to final thought on this. We talked about plenty. We gave pretty much what we have. As you see, this movie really reminds us more of other movies. Nick has the Rolodex on those, and it's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate. You guys should scroll back if you haven't caught some of those just to see if you agree with that. If you've seen this movie already, if you haven't seen this movie already, we didn't give you a spoiler alert or a spoiler warning. We apologize for that. But at the same time, I think you probably enjoyed this a lot more than you would have that 2 hours, and you probably saved about 30 minutes. So with that being said, we do appreciate you.
Mhm.
That literally is pretty much my final thoughts. My final thoughts are, hey, go ahead, give this a look if you like it. If you don't, you don't. I'm not really sure where to put it in the like-dislike category, but there are multiple parts. I hope we get a lot more character development, some character information at least in part 2. They don't need to introduce no damn body else. They
No.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
And
We got to find out about what's his name's sister.
that's not a new character. We already know who she is.
Right.
Not really. But
But
then
we
again,
know
we didn't really know
We
him
didn't
or
know
them.
we
right.
didn't know who he
We
was.
know there's a blood axe. We know there's a blood axe left, so we know she's coming back.
Right.
But outside of that, I can
And we
give
need a
this.
princess.
hmm
Okay, yeah, I guess the princess or yeah, at least the princess has to come back.
Which
But other than
Cora is kind of a princess.
Can I be fair? Can I be honest and tell you guys? I kind of thought maybe Sam, was that her name? Sam, the first girl who was about to get raped at the beginning. I thought she
Mhm.
was the princess because the robot said she kind of looked like her, and
Mhm.
that was the whole reason Cora was in that community, because she's still protecting her.
maybe she is.
Oh yeah, and then the last scene is the robot putting full Indian headdress. And
Is that what that
becoming
was?
Native American.
I thought he went. What is that? Summer's Eve.
Oh, Midsummer. That's
There
you
good. I
go.
like that
That's the
too.
same.
That's what I was thinking. He went Wicker Man on us.
Wicker Man. I like that. Yeah. Full pagan. Full pagan.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, Sweet Tooth.
The robot shepherd. But yeah, so I'm gonna give this a 4 or 5, and I'm not even sure if that's accurate. So yeah.
To
Yeah.
be fair, I was thinking about the same. I'm gonna give it a 4 because it's a 2-part movie. This is part 1, and I'm not all that impressed. So yeah, I was thinking about a 4 myself. It's below good, but not terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree that there is it's hard for me to say that this is a bad movie. I think that people would probably like it.
Mhm.
I didn't find myself totally compelled by it just because I recognize too many elements from other movies that I really enjoyed, and I felt like those were done better in those movies and not that great in this movie.
That's because those movies were told over like 8 movies,
Right,
12
yes,
spin-offs,
yes, they took their time.
cartoons.
Right. So I'm gonna give this a 4 or 5 as well. I think it's not that bad. I would even give it a 5. Just because I think it's kind of average, but I really we need to get out of this 5 pit. you know?
Yeah.
I would have
because-
given it more if it wasn't just more Nazis.
Yeah. I would have given it more if we had some more time with the characters. You could have done is made this a trilogy and only recruited like half of the characters in this movie,
Mhm.
in the first movie, and then you could actually build upon their characters. We would know a little bit more about them.
Yeah.
And then get the other half in the next movie and then have it all
Like
culminate.
Kill Bill.
Yeah, I mean, like a trilogy just would be fine. But who knows? I'll
Kill Bill was
watch the
supposed to
next
be a
one
trilogy
though.
for the record.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
and
watch-
I'm down to watch the next one as well.
yeah, I'll watch the next one. It might be good. Who knows? Hopefully, it's good now that all of the setup is done.
Right. It could be nice.
It could be nice. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5. I don't think
fair
it's
enough.
that bad. It's all right.
Wow, for the first time, Nick's giving a higher rating than me.
I know. I'm trying. My New Year's resolution is to be kinder, so I'm trying my hardest.
Shame on you, but hey.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
You know?
That being said, we better find some good movies, or I'm going to be in trouble.
Oh, that's our fault.
No, it's not. We got to find the good movies. I don't know if we'll find them. Who knows?
Man, nobody got a search engine like that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's true.
Neither do they. Neither do.
Man, that's
they.
because they too busy trying to live off of nostalgia instead of making some new IPs. Man, what is it? What did he say? It's like 30,000 new scripts every year or something like that, or 3,000 scripts every year. And you mean you
Maybe
can't find one
30,000.
decent one?
Right.
Man, I don't know. I guess I'm sure there are tons out there. It's just that it's risky. It's risky to put money on something novel.
Of
Yeah.
course it is. But
Yeah.
how do you think Star Wars came about?
That's a good
The
point,
original.
right?
You
Right.
won't know
Wait, that
until
was-
you
that was
do.
like 40 years ago when there wasn't anything else to precede it.
There's
But it was
nothing
still considered risky when it came out.
right, and there's nothing.
agree.
You know what? People will give their leg for some new content
Yes,
just because it's new,
and they'll
It
be
just
kinder to it.
right?
Mhm.
Because we don't have anything to base it off of. You know what? Part of the reason why Marvel is failing is because we know the history.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you put out crap, we know it's crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like, look, Peter Jackson did the best he could with Lord of the Rings, and we loved it anyway.
Mhm.
There's a lot of stuff that had to be left out because it was just too much, and we get that. But for the most part, he did his best to stay true to the story as close as he could, kind of, sort of, kind of.
I mean, he did as good as anybody could.
Right.
Yeah.
As long as he don't
Yeah.
try to do the Silmarillion, we okay.
Yeah. Well, they already tried to do the Silmarillion. It's called Rings of Power. So,
And now you know.
all right. Well, I think that's it.
That's the script we shall not name.
Hey, yes.
Jeez.
Well, that gives us about
4.5.
4 or 5, something like that. Yeah.
4 or 5. You take the
Not
median
too bad.
from. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. I mean, we reviewed 30 plus movies last year that didn't even make it to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a fair point. Actually, about 40 plus that didn't
Yeah.
make it to that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well,
They were snacks.
those are our reviews. Those are our ratings. We end at about an average 4 or 5, so it's not too impressive, but it is something for you to pay attention to, think about, and maybe tell some people about. Gather some opinions of your own on, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else on this movie, and not much else to lend when it comes to it. What about you, fellas? How you feeling?
No.
I got one other thing to say. Sophia Boutelle is
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
so gorgeous.
We appreciate you guys for
Good night,
tuning in.
everybody.
We appreciate you guys for tuning into the Screen Time Continuum. This has been our review of The Rebel Moon Part 1, Child of Fire. By all means, when you guys get a chance, go ahead, check out our archive of shows and keep tuned right here to our live show, as we currently have shows popping up for you on average about twice a week. Go ahead over to Twitch and check out Strawberries in Coffee, as well as King_of_Ilion, where Mike and Dejan will be running games for you regularly. Mike is currently running Far Cry 6, yeah?
Yep.
Yes, indeed. So if you guys know anything about the Far Cry series, or even if you're playing the current Far Cry series, go ahead and check Mike out, see what's going on over there. Maybe he'll give you some tips, or maybe you'll just enjoy watching him play and you'll be able to run through those levels a little bit later of your own, as well as check out some shows that we have for you guys all over YouTube, all over Facebook. You're going to love them. You're going to love them. You might even find us over on Rumble or Spotify. Just go ahead, type us into anything that you enjoy and see where you can find us at. You have If Numbers Could Talk. You have the Exo Fathom. You have This Married Moment. And you are right here at Screen Time Continuum. We appreciate you guys for hanging out with us as usual. Go ahead, check that movie out, rerun this here review, and let us know what you thought about it, how you felt. We'll be looking forward to your comments. My name is Keelan.
I'm Nick. Mike was somewhere, but I don't know where.
And Mike was with us for a moment, but hey, he had to step away.
I'm sorry about that. I'm here. And I might.
There you go.
Yes, indeed. We appreciate you guys, and by all means, come back around. As you see, we still have fun, and we always will. Can't stop that.
Absolutely. You know what we forgot? A Hunger
What?
Games reference.
Which one was that?
Never mind.